Hey guys, good morning and God bless. I've been sick, so my voice is a little weak. Um, I've been looking at this solar eclipse that's coming up in March 2000, 9 March 2016, so a few days. Um, and I just been where it's at in the heavens. I couldn't find really anything significant until I started to dig around. I put together a little presentation that I think shows what this solar eclipse could be. Um, Once again, I'm not setting any dates. I'm just looking at the signs in the heavens that are supposed to be there. You would think after all the four blood moons that we've had and all the countless, we had the hybrid solar eclipse, we had all these different signs. We all know that time is very close, very, very close. So, what could this sign mean, especially when it's out in the middle of kind of nowhere? So, let's take a look at it real quick. So, here's the solar eclipse. And it happens. You can't see it on the screen, but it happens March 9th, 2016, about 03 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. You start to look at it, it kind of just is in the middle between Aquarius and Pisces. Doesn't really seem to say much. Um, but as I started looking at this, I think you'll be amazed. So let's take a look. Okay, Revelation 10:6. And swear by him that lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are therein are, and the earth and the things that are therein are, and the sea and the things that are therein are, that there should be time no longer. Time no longer. Okay, we're going to look at the constellations and we're going to look at what they mean. It paints a picture of what I think is to come. And the first thing we see is Aquarius. And we're going to talk about Aquarius and if it's in the Bible. And we're just going to do a brief study on these. Behold, when ye enter into the city, there shall be a man there to meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth. Some say that we're coming up on the age of Aquarius. What this represents is all the constellations represent the story of God in some way, shape, or form. Aquarius represents Jesus Christ as the water bearer, the living water, the drinking of the living water. And that's what he was saying here. He was telling us in the Bible, it says, if you can't understand earthly things, how can I expect you to understand heavenly things? This is what he's telling us. All right, this is the time frame of what we should be looking for. Now, when you look at Aquarius, he's pouring out this water, this living water. There's a fish. In some cases, it shows a sea monster or whatever, but it's actually Pisces Astrinus is the name of the constellation. It has a star called Formahalt, which is the largest star in that constellation. It's a very beautiful star, sometimes known as the Eye of God. If you Google that, you'll see a picture of it. And here we have our verse. Whoever drinketh this living water shall never thirst again, but whosoever drinketh the water that I shall give them shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give them shall be in them a wellspring, springing up to everlasting life. So this fish is drinking this water coming from the pitcher of Aquarius, which is Jesus Christ, the living water. Now, there's other two fishes called Pisces as well. This is Pisces Astrinus. You have also the other constellation, Pisces. And he said, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Okay, so there's some verses that go along with Pisces. And who ought this woman not be, the daughter of Abraham? Satan hath bound, lo, these 18 years, be loosened from this bond on the Sabbath day. If you ever look at these fish, they're tied at their tails by a knot and a cord right here. These fish represent the multitudes of people. Okay, you have Pisces Astrinus, who's drinking from the living water, and this is representing the multitudes. Now, I returned, I saw under the sun that the race was not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor the riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time, chance happen to all. For man also knoweth this not his time, as the fishes are taken out from an evil net, and the birds are caught in the same snare, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time, when he hath fallen suddenly upon them. This is wisdom I have seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. So he's telling us where to look at the sun to find these signs of what these constellations mean. These two fish are bound. What are they bound to? They're bound to this constellation called Cetus, and I believe it's the beast out of the sea, or it's Satan. As we know, Satan in his fallen can inhabit people. For example, there's a verse in Isaiah, there's a chapter in Isaiah where God is talking not to the prince of Assyria, but he's talking to the spirit behind the prince of Assyria. And as we know, that these beasts can be inhabited by the fallen and Satan himself, which is what's going to happen at the end of days. The Lord told me a long time ago there are three different people in the world, three fish. You have the lost, the backslidden, and the bride. The two fish obviously in bondage. One fish looks like it's trying to ascend, which is this one here, and one possibly going the way of the world right here. The third is drinking the living water that Jesus Christ provides. Now, that's just my thought on this, okay? But I have looked at a lot of constellation studies, and that's what that pertain to the Bible, and that's what some people try to think, that this is the backslidden. They think they're ascending. They think they're good. They're going up. The lost just are going the way of the world. They have not a care in the world. Also this, my heart also trembleth as it moved from his place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice, and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directed it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth. He thundereth with a voice of excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doth he which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, Be thou art on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and also to the great rain of his strength. What I want you to do is keep this thunder and lightning and rain in the back of your mind as we talk about this sign. God thundereth, great things he doeth, which we cannot comprehend. Likewise to the small rain and to the great rain, okay, of his strength. What I started to look at was this part of the Pisces right here, the lost part of the Pisces, okay? The ones going the way of the world. You have Aquarius over here. You have our constellation. Now this picture is stretched, okay? So it doesn't line up perfectly, but it seemed to line up perfectly on the program, all right? But the picture is stretched. And it seems there's to be a perfect line between this right here and all the way through the living water. Now, what does this mean? Well, when you start to examine these stars right here, you start to get a good picture of what he's talking about in this verse right here, and several other verses I'll show you. And we look at the star meanings. Now, I didn't put this star meaning on there, but this star right here is called mansion. It's called mansion, and it's also called encampment. So just keep that in the back of your mind. When we look at these stars, we see that these are all thunderbolt stars. Now, the first thing I thought of when I saw thunderbolt, I immediately thought, and I saw all these thunderbolts, I immediately thought the seven thunders is coming to pass. I don't know that for sure, because there's not seven thunderbolts. There's first star, second star, third, fourth, fifth. You go down to the next star down here, and it's called outer fence, and then the next star is called sowing forever. This one remains unnamed, according to what I could find. And these two right here are called the first star of cloud and rain. Now we jump to the fourth star of cloud and rain. So I'm not sure where second and third star for the cloud and rain actually are located, or if there are even ones. So there's inconsistencies with the naming, but these were actually called first star thunderbolt, second star thunderbolt, third star thunderbolt, fourth star thunderbolt, fifth, and so on. Like I said, this one's unnamed, but I found it very interesting that it's under this star right here, the first star of thunderbolt. Let's take a look at some verses, okay? And Let's continue this little mystery. There's more that's involved here. Um, the sea. All right, let's take this verse right here. And he had in his hand a little open book, and he sat in his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth. And he cried with a loud voice, when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice in heaven saying to me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted his hand at heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things therein, and the earth and the things that are therein are, and the sea and the things that are therein, that time should be no longer. Time should be no longer. Keep that in the back of your mind as well, please. If you look up here, the sea, what I found a lot of time is this ecliptic. There's a verse, and I don't have it handy here, but it's talking about the sea of glass, and upon the sea of glass were 7 stars. It's talking about the 7 planets that are in plain view. So I have one metaphor for sea. Now, the sea is also the abyss. It's also, the underworld. It has many different meanings in which God uses it. However, this I have known to be the sea as well, this ecliptic, the sea of glass, through other signs in Revelation. So keep this in the back of your mind. Time no longer. Lion, keep that back, because we're going to tie in Leo, the lion, has a sign in it as well. We just talked about the sea. We talked about the 7 thunders and how these could possibly be. I'm not saying, but there's definitely something here to look at. The 7 thunders. Jeremiah 10:9. The gods have not made the heavens and the earth; even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. He hath made He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heavens by his discretion. When he utter his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens. And I remember we talked about Pisces being the multitudes. Okay, there is a multitude of waters, and then we have the sign of cloud and rain, first star of cloud and rain. Okay, he causeth the vapors to ascend from the heavens, from the ends of the earth, and he make lightning with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. So another thing this could be talking about is this when the storehouses will open. Is this when the blessings will befall the bride? I'm not sure, but once again, I'm just pointing out this sign. Oops, sorry. There's that verse again. Let's continue. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts, with thunder, with an earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, in the flame of devouring fire. The voice of thy thunder was in heaven, and the lightnings lighted the world. The earth trembled and shook. This I thought was a very interesting verse. 1 Samuel 12:14. This is 17 here. Is not what wheat harvest isn't it not wheat harvest today? I will call unto the Lord, and he shall send thunder and rain, that ye may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which you have done in the sight of the Lord, and asking you a king. So Samuel called out to the Lord and sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. You can also look at other verses like at the latter rains. These verses pertain to that as well. So something kind of interesting. I did a study in 2013, and I saw something that was really interesting. This is a full moon that was on the eve of Sukkot, and it was underneath the same, they call this the circlet. It was underneath this circlet. And like I said, it was September 2013 on the 19th. Well, what was happening that day in the earth was the Colorado floods. And they were at the height of the Colorado floods between September 11th, which we know that was a 911 event, and the 12th. So this sign kind of appeared at the end of it, but nonetheless, the Colorado floods were very paramount during that time. So, does that mean that this sign that's coming is going to be, the next 911 event? I don't know. Like I said, I'm just putting this information out there for you to pray over and study for yourself. But I thought it was pretty neat how you have cloud and rain, thunderbolt, 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 all these different things here during this sign. And we have all these verses that support, especially something like this with a wheat harvest. He said thunder and rain that day, something definitely to pay attention to. So where does the height of this solar eclipse occur? Well, it occurs out here in the middle of the ocean. And I kind of thought, well, it's kind of strange because God's got a purpose for everything he does. Every single thing he does, there's a purpose. And there's got to be a reason or something there, or, a time or something that makes this, that makes sense, for his plan. And if I looked at Google Earth, it happens, right in here somewhere. I don't know the exact spot. And I started to look here and, what's he trying to tell us? And then I saw this right through here. And it looks like a hand to me. And I got it traced out. It looks like a big, hand coming out from here down. And then you see this opening. It looks kind of like a cave. Now, let me tell you something. I've had a dream a while ago. I was in a cave. And when I was in that cave, I was with people I didn't know, but we were all in this cave. And sorry, I moved that, didn't I? And I was in this cave with people I didn't know, and God came to us and said, "You need to shut the door of this cave until I'm done." And I was kind of taken back, and we took off our coats and we put our coats together and we made a cover for a cave. And I didn't even think of it. Dream was years ago. It was probably 2 years ago until I was reading Joseph the other day, and he had a coat of many colors. And I was like, that's why God had me. We made a covering, with the coats that we had. And then we went out of the cave after you could see like a tempest. When I woke up, the first word the Lord put on my mind was tempest. When I woke up that morning, I started looking up the word tempest in the Bible. I completely forgot about the coat. But then as I was reading Joseph the other day, it made sense to me. You can kind of see it here. I traced it a little bit. It doesn't give it justice because you can really see like his thumbnail or something over here. But you have this kind of cave opening, and kind of go back and forth a little bit. So I don't know. Once again, just putting the pieces together here. And then this verse came to my mind. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, only for a moment, until the indignation be overpast. Now let's look at this phrase, as it were. If you Google the phrase, as it were, it means kind of, sort of, not really. So this verse could read, Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, shut the doors about thee, hide thyself, kind of, sort of, but not really, like for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. So is time as we know it going to end? Once again, I'm just presenting what I see. Hast thou an arm like God? Can thou thunder with a voice like him? So I don't know if this is another clue of what we're supposed to look for. We have the stars of thunder, and then we have this arm coming out. So anyway, it's for you to study and look at as well. If we go back 3 days earlier, we have Jupiter crossing this line, the star line, I'll call it, I guess, is the layperson's term, but crossing over 3 days. We know 3 days of darkness. And is that where the heel bruise comes in? Because that would be, obviously nothing's going to pass down here because it's not on the ecliptic. Everything's got to happen near the ecliptic. Is that Jupiter passing over his heel to bruise the heel? Anyway, folks, just a video to pass that along. Please comment. I don't have the answers. I am just showing what I've been shown. And, you know, is that his arm on the on thunder? I don't know. But I found it very, very interesting, folks. God bless you. Thank you for watching. And thank you for your prayers. I love you all very much.